We just closed out a red June. The market's been volatile, and the question that I keep getting is the same one. Where do I put new money to work right now? So in this video, I'm going to give you 4 stocks that I believe are great opportunities heading into July. And these aren't all in the same industry, but they share one common thing. Every one of them is riding a long-term trend that I believe is still in the early innings. And so not only will I discuss these exact stocks, but I'll also show you the technicals, which also display that it is a good time to buy. Now, if you're new to the channel, my name is Rashad. I am a full-time options trader, and I bring in the bulk of my income via the stock market. So before we begin, do me a huge favor, smash the like button, and do remember that this is not financial advice, nor is it a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold any equities or options contracts. All trading comes with risk, and results may vary. As always, I'll start with a word from God that has to deal with money, wealth building, or business. And today's word will come from Proverbs 27:23, and it says, "Be sure you know the condition of your flocks. Give careful attention to your herds." And the easy to read version states, "Know what you have and manage it well." And so I hope that blesses somebody out there. And quickly, I want to shout out a member of the Trade to Freedom community. And since he sent this to me privately, I'm going to hide the name, but this is a new member that recently started in the last few months. And he says, "Rashad, this is life-changing. I have passed the $20,000 mark for the month, and there are still a couple days left. We can do this consistently?" And so shout out to that member making a ton of money very shortly after coming into the community, even during a very volatile month. And to answer his question, there is certainly more where that came from. All right, but if you guys are looking to join the community right now, we are running a very limited time sale for July 4th. And in order to get the discount code, the link is right at the description below. The very first link, you just put in your email and we will automatically send you the code for a pretty sizable discount. All right, if you are familiar with the channel, you know I don't really run sales. So please take advantage of this while it is going on. It will end this week. All right. And the discount is good for both the Trade to Freedom community and the Bull Premium newsletter. All right. But again, link is below in the description. And with that, let's get down to business. Now, let's talk about July speed because history is pretty interesting here. July has historically been one of the strongest months for the S&P 500, averaging about a 2.8%. But it gets even more interesting when you look at what happens right after a down June, like the one we just had. And so if we look here at every year since 2005, where June finished negative, and looked at what July did next, 10 of the last 12 times July finished green. And that's an 83% hit rate. Okay, and I'm actually recording this on the last day of June, and the market is actually moving up as I'm recording. So this number is a little different. We'll finish a little better than what this shows. However, that doesn't matter. What matters is 83% of the time when we get a red June, we get a green July next. Okay, and that's at an average of plus 2.8%. So while everybody's all nervous because of a weak June, the historical setup heading into July is a pretty positive one. I'll always give you both sides. Here's the catch. July also kicks off what is more so the weakest 4 months of the year for the NASDAQ. And it tends to be even softer for a midterm election year, which we are in currently. So this isn't like a back up the truck on anything moment. It's be selective and own quality moment. And that's exactly what these 4 names are. All right, the first one is Microsoft, ticker symbol MSFT. Now, Microsoft has seen a bit of a fall from grace. This was once, for a very short time, the most valuable company in the world. And while it's still a giant, the valuation has been cut considerably. And that is exactly why the risk to reward is so interesting here. The stock is down about 25% over the last 12 months with a market cap of around $2.8 trillion. So what's actually going on with the business? Well, anything software has been out of favor lately, and Microsoft has been painted with the same brush. But investors are ignoring how strong the cloud has been. We can see here in the most recent quarter, the cloud segment grew 30% and Azure itself grew 40%. And here's the thing, Microsoft isn't just building AI, it is currently monetizing AI. And that's across products that businesses already use every single day. And that combination is what makes this one of the most quality companies in the entire market. Now, the part that I love is the valuation. We're looking at some of the cheapest multiples that Microsoft has had over the last 5 years. Okay, we have the EV to EBITDA, which is at 12 times. And last time it was that low was around January of 2017. So now we're talking 9 years. And on a forward PE, it's around 19 times. Now, this is a multiple you'd slap on a packaged foods company, not the company helping build the future of enterprise AI. Okay, and then we have analyst price targets currently around $561. Not a single analyst rates this as a sell. They're all buys. And this price would imply about a 50% upside from here. I always take analyst price targets with a grain of salt. Even if it were to move up half this amount, that is an incredible win. But here's something that I want to show you with the technicals. Take a look at what I've drawn out for you here. Now, remember that old resistance always becomes new support. And so if we go back all the way to 2021, we can see that this 350 area has consistently been resistance for Microsoft. All right, so back in 2021, it hit it and it bounced down, and then it came back up again and hit it, and then it bounced down for a while before finally breaking that level of resistance. Well, old resistance becomes new support. And so then when it retested it back in, what is this, April of 2025 during the tariff drama, it hit that level of around 350, and then it bounced up and it stayed above it for quite some time, and then it came back and retested it just in April of this year, and then it bounced back up, and look where we are at right now. Okay, we can see that in every single one of these candles is a weekly time frame. So we can see last week it came down and it hit 350 again, and now it is trading slightly above that area. And so I would say that this is a great opportunity to get in at a very, very strong level of support. Okay, so any bullish strategy from here, whether it be just buying shares or selling puts or selling put credit spreads or doing call debit spreads. I know for me, I am looking forward to doing some leaps on Microsoft. However, for me, if you know my strategy, you know that I like for the weekly stochastic to be pointing upwards. Now, what we can see right here with this stochastic, it is pointing downwards, and it now has come into the oversold area. So that is good. What I want to see is for the stochastic to reverse and turn back upwards. And you can see in recent history, that has been a good time to buy, right? If we go back all the way back here 3-4 years ago, we can see when the stochastic came out the oversold area, that was a great time to buy. Come up out of the oversold area, great time to buy. Come up out of the oversold area, great time to buy. Just a few months ago, when it came out the oversold area, that was a good time to buy. Okay, and in this case, we would have gotten out of the trade once the stochastic came back out of the overbought area and dropped below 80. All right, so we would have got in on this candle here and gotten out on this candle here. Now, here's something that makes it even more positive. Looking at the seasonality for Microsoft right here on barchart.com, we can see that July is historically a very green month for Microsoft as well, okay? Averaging a 3.48% positive return. And so looking at this chart here, that historically July is the third best month for Microsoft. So pair that along with it already being at a very strong level of support, things are looking good for Microsoft. And then stock number 2 might surprise you, but it is Netflix, ticker symbol NFLX. And let me say it up front, Netflix is not an AI stock. It's simply an incredible business. And over the past several years, this company has transformed itself, cracking down on password sharing, building out advertising, flexing real pricing power, and growing internationally, all of which drove profitability higher. And Netflix proves something that every great company eventually proves, which is a strong business can continue creating shareholder value even after it matures. All right, but here is the setup. So unlike the first name, Microsoft, Netflix is actually down 40%. And that's just over the past 12 months. And it currently has a market cap of about $311 billion. And why is that? It's because the slide really started when they went out and tried to buy Warner Brothers. The market kind of took it as maybe Netflix is falling short on their own content, and now they're looking for somebody to save them. But here's the thing, the deal is gone, and actually Netflix got paid to walk away from that deal. And while the stock did have a little small bounce right after it, it came right back down. And so if you looked at the stock price, you would think that the company was struggling. If we look down here, last year, Netflix alone generated nearly $10 billion in free cash flow. And in 2026, that's expected to grow almost 40% to more than $13 billion. Meanwhile, the valuation has come all the way down, which the lowest EV to EBITDA at 17.5 times and a forward PE of about 22 times. The only time it was cheaper than this was going back to the 2022 bear market. All right, and so analysts have a price target of about $114, and that is, again, more than a 50% upside. All right, this is a business that got cheap on noise, not on fundamentals. Now, looking at Netflix chart, we can see that it hit a high of about $134 back in June of last year, so it's been about a year since it's hit its all-time high, and it's pretty much been cut in half. Now, I see multiple levels of support in anywhere from the $60 to $70 range. But obviously, first up would be this $70 range here, which we can see was old resistance for a small time frame and could be new support here. But again, what I want you to notice is if we're looking at this weekly stochastic, we can see we are deep, deep, deep into the oversold area. And the stochastic K has actually come up slightly above the stochastic D. All right. So we can see the red line slightly above the yellow one. But here I want to exercise some patience and wait until it comes up above 20 before I go for any leaps. All right. Right now, we in the Trader Freedom community are selling puts at lower prices here, because I do think it's at a very great spot. And so I will continue to wait for the stochastic to move back above 20 to enter into the leaps. And now I always get this question, well, what if I wait that long, will I miss out on some of the upside? Yes, absolutely you will. But here's the thing. You probably weren't going to catch the bottom anyway. So you might as well just wait around for some confirmation. All right, but that is Netflix. Stock number 3 is Nvidia, ticker symbol NVDA. And of course, Nvidia is the largest company in the entire world, and yet for some reason, it still gets questioned every single quarter. They say earnings are slowing. They're still pumping out amazing earnings growth. Margin compression is coming. No, it's not. Every single quarter, the company proves all the haters wrong. Expectations are high, sure. But the valuation is honestly more in line with a consumer staples company than the most important company in the world when it comes to AI. And that revolution is not slowing down. Every single cloud provider is still investing very aggressively. All right, companies are not moving away from Nvidia. The simple fact is Nvidia builds the best and the fastest products that they need. Looking down here, their Blackwell and new Vera Rubin chips are seeing unprecedented demand, with lifetime sales expected to reach $1 trillion. And that's just from 2 of their latest chips. And AI is expanding beyond training into inference, enterprise software, robotics, autonomous systems. The story isn't ending, it's simply evolving. And I believe it's still early. All right, but over the past 12 months, it's up about 25%. Market cap's around 4.6 trillion, but they've had 2-year revenue growth of around 60%, EBITDA around 65%, and yet the stock trades at around a 19 forward PE, a level it only briefly touched in 2019, and before that, 2016. This is a company that has transformed the world and it's barely getting credit for. All right, we have analyst price targets over here, which many of the analysts have just raised it to now hit the $300 mark. And I do believe over the next 12 to 18 months, Nvidia will trade above 300 bucks. And so you have above a 50% upside from here. Nvidia is right at the 200-day moving average. Check out my last video if you want to see a more deep dive into Nvidia, but it's at obviously a strong level of support because the 200-day moving average is one of the strongest levels of support. All right, you always have what's called mean reversion, which simply means coming back to the average. And that is what has happened with Nvidia. So it's come back down to the average, and so it is looking good. Stock number 4 is Broadcom, ticker symbol AVGO. All right, now while Nvidia gets to be the face of AI, Broadcom has quietly become one of the biggest AI enablers. Custom AI chips, high-speed networking, data center connectivity, and infrastructure software. And what I love is that it's not dependent on any single product. It's got multiple businesses throwing off enormous cash flow while riding the same AI wave. Now, think about all the hyperscalers using their own custom chips. Alphabet uses TPUs for Gemini, search, and the cloud, and their silicon relationship with Broadcom was just extended out to 2031. That's years of locked-in cash flow. Meta is developing its own chip with Broadcom as well in order to reduce their dependence on Nvidia. And the big recent one, a confirmed relationship with OpenAI. Now, looking here, the stock is up about 35% over the past 12 months with a market cap of around 1.7 trillion, but revenue grew 24% last year and it's up 18% this year. And it currently has a price to free cash flow of around 24, and that has been a great entry point. Now, analysts have a price target of 524, and that's about a 40% upside from here. And looking at Broadcom, again, it is the exact same setup as Nvidia. It has dropped down to this 200-day moving average. It was just at its all-time high not that long ago, just earlier on June 3rd. It hit a high of 495, and it bounced down considerably. And ever since it has hit this 200-day moving average, it is kind of stabilized, and so we will see how July works out. If we look at all of this data, we have 4 names, a few big themes. Nvidia and Broadcom give you the AI infrastructure, the picks and the shovels. Microsoft is monetizing AI through cloud and enterprise software and different models. And Netflix is simply a world-class business that got way, way, way too cheap. All right, different industries, different models, but all 4 companies, I believe, will continue to create shareholder value over the long term. All right, but if you got any value out of this, make sure to smash that like button. And do remember, we have the huge July 4th sale going on right now. The first link in the description, you'll get the discount code and you'll be able to come trade to freedom with me. All right, but with that, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.